各位朋友，大家好！今天我们很高兴邀请到 Domaine de la Chapelle 的庄主 O'Connell， 那他到现场来呢，跟大家做他的酒庄的介绍。其实我们今天要介绍的不只是他的酒庄，其实他会跟大家讲很多你所不知道的勃艮第。好，我们现在他今天带来一份简报，我们就从他的简报开始。Okay, O'Connell, you can start up.
So we titled this Rebirth of a Domain because Domaine Clos de la Chapelle is really a new name of a very old domain that dates back all the way to the 13th century. We have vineyards that are planted in the vines that you can see behind us dating back to the 1200s. So it's quite a remarkable story. But before we go into the story, let's talk about the picture of France as a winemaking country, very, very famous winemaking country, but as you can see, it makes more wine than any other country, but only about 17% of the wine grapes grown in the United States.
所以大家可以看到，只有17% 的酒才是法国酒。大家以为全世界都是 French wine， 那是错的哈。所以只有17% 才是法国酒。法国酒其实占的比例没有想得很高。好 ，Go on.
Yeah. And within France itself, we're going to be talking about the Chardonnay grape and Pinot Noir, which are the two predominant grapes that are grown in Burgundy, which is where Domaine Clos de la Chapelle is. And you can see, in fact, that Chardonnay is only 5% of the total production in France, and Pinot Noir is 3%.
所以只有5%，整个法国只有5% 种 Chardonnay， 而且我刚才讲是全法国，不是 Burgundy 哦。Burgundy 种 Chardonnay 的比例更低，那全法国只有3% 是种 Pinot Noir， 那还包括其他地区哦，所以 Burgundy 的 Pinot Noir 又更低，所以 Burgundy 的 Pinot Noir 跟 Chardonnay 在整个法国酒里面，其实比例是非常低的。
So to try to put Burgundy in perspective from a geographical standpoint, you can see this map of France, and here is where Burgundy is. Paris is right here. So Burgundy is about 2.5 hours by train outside of Paris. And here are some other famous regions. Bordeaux, many of you have heard of. The Rhone, many have heard of. And of course, Champagne here just to the north. So Burgundy again is right here about 2.5 hours from Paris.
这个大家应该都知道了哈，这就让了解一下勃艮第的位置。好，各位。
The most famous part of Burgundy is called the Côte d'Or, and to try to give some idea about how small it is relative to other wine growing regions, Napa Valley in the United States, which is a very famous Cabernet region, only makes 6 million cases a year, which is not really a lot of wine, but Burgundy in the Côte d'Or is even smaller, at half of that, only 3 million cases.
Go on.
Within Burgundy, one of the most famous parts within the Côte d'Or is the Côte de Nuits. It's made up of many, many small vineyards with many, many owners, which is one of the reasons why understanding Burgundy sometimes is a little bit difficult. Chateau Margaux is the same size as Clos de Vougeot, which is the largest Grand Cru vineyard in Burgundy. But Chateau Margaux only has one owner, and Clos Vougeot has more than 80 owners. So when you look at a Burgundy label and you see Clos Vougeot, it could be made by one of 80 different people compared to looking at a label of Chateau Margaux where you would only have one person making the wine.
Yeah, yes. 所以大家刚刚听他讲的哈，非常的神，就是你们也许知道，但不知道这个比例如此悬殊。你看啊，整个 Burgundy 来说哈，是比这个 Napa 少非常多的产量。而且呢，即使在 Burgundy 里面，我们以这个 Clos Vougeot 这个空区来说，它只不过跟 Chateau Margaux 差不多大，但是呢 ，Clos Vougeot 这个特级园呢，只有80个 owner， 有80家酒庄在里面都有地。Chateau Margaux 只有1个，而且老实说，这多年来还不断在扩张之中。
So the next subject here to talk about is how to read a Burgundian wine label. Over 50% of the production in Burgundy is what is known as regional wines, and all regional wines will say Bourgogne on it. It will typically also have the grape, or it might just say Rouge for red. So again, Bourgogne Pinot Noir is going to be 50% of what's produced in Burgundy.
所以有一半的勃艮第大概就是一般的这个普通的这个AOC。
The next category are what are called village wines, and they make up 38% of the production. A village wine, as the name implies, will have the name of the village on the label. In this case, it just says Volnay, which is the village of Volnay, and it won't say, typically, the name of the vineyard. So it means that all of the grapes that are in this bottle were grown in the village of Volnay.
像各位比较熟悉的这个村庄酒，其实只占30%，大概1/3多一点。像是我们常常喝到的 Gervais Chambertin、Chambolle-Musigny、Volnay、Pommard、Alex Cordon 这些所谓的村庄酒，其实大概就1/3强而已。
Within the village category, if you put the name of the vineyard on it and you actually notate that it is a Premier Cru, then the label will look something like this. Only 10% of the wine that is made in Burgundy is Premier Cru. In this case, this label is the village of Volnay. It says Premier Cru, and the vineyard is Clos de la Chapelle.
And it's monopole.
It's a monopole. That means that there's only one owner. That's very rare in Burgundy because many of the vineyards, when we talked about Clos Vougeot, as we saw, have 80 owners. It's very rare to have a vineyard, as we do, at Clos de la Chapelle, that it only has and has only ever had a single owner.
所以你看一级园只有 10% 而已。像这个一级园呢，还是独占园，会写个 monopole， 表示它是独占，只有一个人拥有。
At the top of the Burgundian hierarchy is what's called Grand Cru. And Grand Cru is only 2% of the production. It's the best vineyards in all of Burgundy. You will see the words Grand Cru on the label. And in this example, Corton-Bresson is the vineyard that is wine made by Clos de la Chapelle.
好，这个勃艮第的组成有一半呢是一般的所谓的广域酒，有38%左右呢是村庄酒，只有 10% 呢是所谓的这个一级园，而我们说的特级园，其实我们台湾人喝的比较好，觉得喝特级园是很正常的事，它只占勃艮第的葡萄酒里面的2%而已，只有 2%。
And to show you how rare this is, you can see that on this particular vintage, which is the 2013 vintage, we only made 954 bottles of Corton-Bresson.
你看，只做了954瓶，差不多是3桶。
So this is a map of the village of Volnay, and this will show you all these individual vineyards. You can see the different names of them. This dark area here represents the vineyards that are Premier Cru. The vineyards that are in the lighter area are the village vineyards. I also wanted to point out how small Volnay is and how very, very tiny these vineyards are. You can see the scale here of about 500 meters, and you can see how close these are. So from one end of Volnay to the other, we have less than 1,500 meters, and you can see there are dozens and dozens of vineyards within that very small area.
大家可以看这个 Volnay 这个村庄它指出它拥有的这个葡萄园的位置，并且也可以看到 Volnay 有多小。你们各位有看到下面比例尺有没有？那个比例尺那个距离才500公尺而已，所以整个 Volnay 我看不要说骑脚踏车你走个1-2个小时2-3个小时就可以全部把它走完。
So, how did I get involved in this project in Burgundy? Well, for the last over 30 years, I've been with a company called Multi-Service, which has not been involved in wine at all. It's been involved in commercial credit card processing, and it sort of tells you how to answer the question of how to have a small fortune in the wine business. You have to start with a bigger one.
所以跟大家解释一下，你们一定会好奇，你们不问呢，他就先答了。你看，他是一个美国人，怎么会跑到勃艮第当一个酒庄庄主呢？原因其实很简单。这第一个原因我们大家都知道就是 因为他对勃艮第葡萄酒非常热爱嘛，所以就去买了一块园当庄主。好，问他之前干什么的？很简单，他之前呢做了一些这个跟信用卡这个交易有关的这个生意哈，赚了一些钱，所以用这些赚的钱呢，就去买一个这个葡萄园，勃艮第葡萄园，要圆自己的一个梦。
So, in the position that I have had in my previous professional life, I spent a lot of time going to Burgundy, enjoying the wines, and started buying barrels at the Hospice-de-Beaune wine auction. In 2005, it became possible for a private person to be able to buy an individual barrel, and so I bought my first barrel of wine in 2005.
Yeah, go on.
And so from 2005 to 2009, I was buying individual barrels and learning about the process of élevage, taking wine from barrel into bottle.
对，刚刚看这个照片哈，就知道他在2010年哈去买下酒庄，但之前他在干什么呢？他之前呢，从05年开始，他就去参加这个济贫医乐在 Hospice-de-Beaune 那个济贫医乐的拍卖会，他每年都去呢，都买一桶。买一桶，你看他有对葡萄酒有多热忱。这个照片就是他买的那一桶啊，装瓶之后拍的照片。到05、06、07、08、09，他每年都去买一桶。10年呢就不买一桶了，为什么？他买下一个酒庄。
At the end of this process, I decided I wanted to work the harvest, and so I worked the 2010 harvest. I did every job that you can imagine. I picked grapes in the vineyard. I worked in the Couveret. 2010, as many of you know, was a fantastic year in Burgundy. You can see how beautiful the weather was at the time of harvest, so it was a really magical time.
这他在买下酒庄之后，因为他就把一些工作 outsource 给那个胸皮的同仁，帮他一起做采收啦、酿酒啊工作，所以其他的酒哈跟那个 Domaine 胸皮的酒会风格会非常类似。
And at the end of my work there, I was approached by an investor who said, "Would you like to buy a vineyard?" And if you are shown a picture like this, I think it's a little bit like being shown a picture of a puppy dog that wants to come home with you. You can hardly say no, particularly if you are in love with Burgundy, as I am. So I said, yes, I would love to buy this very picturesque vineyard.
所以各位好，接下来他就用自己亲身的经验呢，来跟你讲说，他买下了这个一个酒庄之后呢的一些心历路程。因为我相信哈，大家都很喜欢葡萄酒，各位也很喜欢勃艮第。你们也许一时呢，就会突然间人生有个梦想说，有一天我也要买下一个酒庄，如果可以的话，我也希望能够去种葡萄。他以他这5年的这个人生经历呢，来告诉你说，他这5年的过程，你要怎么样才可以？到底真的要买下一个葡萄园、一个酒庄吗？你先看他的叙述，之后你再做决定。
So this very special vineyard, which was our first purchase, dates from 1200, and there have only ever been 4 owners of this monopole vineyard. It was owned by the church until 1789. At the time of the French Revolution, it was sold to the Patriarch family that owned it for about 75 years. And then the Boyot family owned it for nearly 150, and we purchased it in 2010.
那大家看这个酒庄，他现在买他这个 Clos de la Chapelle 是个非常古老的葡萄园啊，从西元1200年那个时候5大酒庄还不知道哪里混的时候就已经有了。他早年就是教堂拥有啊，那一直到这个法国大革命之后换了2任庄主，然后到10年他把他这个酒庄买下来。
So the vineyards that we farm are in the village of Aulnay, as you can see, Clos de la Chapelle and Carrel sous la Chapelle. We also have vineyards that we have purchased now in Pomar and the village of Beaune. These dots here represent 4 of the vineyards that we farm. And then also in the village of Corton and Pernon-Vergelès, we have 4 total vineyards in those little villages.
刚才可以看到它的葡萄园散布在各地的版图啊，但是全部走一圈，大概最长的距离大概也才差不多10公里，所以它的葡萄园虽然散落各地，其实距离还算近啊。
So, since we made our original purchases, what we have done is change the vinification. We have become certified organic. We follow biodynamic principles. And we also have started a selección massal process, which means that rather than buying our replacement vines from a nursery, we are using our own cuttings in the replantation of our vineyards.
哦，这一点哈，最特别的地方就是哦，你看它是有机认证，好，现在越来越多人有机认证，对不对？它是 biodynamic 自然动力法去耕种，哎，现在也有人去自然动力法耕种，对不对？重点是你一个葡萄园的葡萄哈会死掉，藤会死掉，你要去栽种新的。它栽种新的那些新的葡萄，全部是自己精选培养的，不是到外面去买一个葡萄藤来就这样种下去，不是。他对这些都非常的 care， 这也是为什么他的葡萄园哦产量很低啊，就是每公顷产多少酒的那个数字非常的低，我们后面会看到。
So we now have 3 Grand Cru vineyards, 3 Chardonnay vineyards, in addition to 6 new Pinot Noir vineyards.
Go on.
And in total, we now farm 12 appellations. Everything we do is all Premier Cru or Grand Cru. There are very, very few domains in Burgundy that are 100% Premier Cru or Grand Cru. We only make 1,500 cases per year. We farm about 4 hectares or 10 acres. Everything is hand harvested. All of our vinification is done with natural yeast, and we are bottling our wines without fining or filtration.
所以你看它全部的葡萄全部哦加起来一年也不过1500箱，所有的园加起来啊。
So, after all of this investment, one question people often ask is, are we making any money? And so I will show you a little slide about vineyard economics.
他会告诉你们，我实现我的梦想了，我现在有葡萄园了，所以我就可以赚大钱了吗？
So this is a graph that shows very simply what is involved in whether or not someone can make money in the wine business. Here we show that the farming cost is about related to the yield about 20 hectoliters per hectare. In other words, we cover our farming costs if we can have yield in a vineyard of more than 20 hectoliters per hectare. And then we have our G&A or our general and administrative cost on top of that. So 25 hectoliters per hectare is where we have to be in order to be on the profitable side. And you can see that at the time of the purchase, the harvest was about 45 or 40 hectoliters per hectare. So it looked like a very good investment. And we had a little bit of a decrease in 2011. But we've had, in the last 5 years, the worst 5 weather years in Burgundy. We have had hail, we had hail, we had hail, and then we had a very, very bad frost this spring.
Yeah.
So we've already lost about 50% of the production.
各位大家看到那个应该是差不多2-3个星期前，勃艮第不是有霜害吗？把一些的苗都冻死了。刚才它显示的就是哦，它的产量其实很低。他买下这个葡萄园的时候，那个我们一般产量用hectoliter per hectare， 那就是每一公顷有产多少百公升的葡萄的这个量来算。那个数字我跟大家一个参考哈。大概5大酒庄大概就是30几到40，大概的话呢，最好的 best 空区大概是20多啊，就特级园。你看它的产量，它在2012年数字多少？7 ，only 7， 所以那个简直就是不可能赚钱。他刚才有说，一般的这个丰收年你那个每公顷的多少百升的这个量能够到25左右的时候，大概就可以打平。有超过的话才有可能赚钱，因为你要丰收嘛才有可能赚钱。所以他这5年呢，其实还好，以前做那个信用卡生意有赚到钱，好，现在就是在维持自己的兴趣在支持的这个酒庄。
So if you look at the costs relative to a bottle of wine, if a wine is being sold at an export price of $50, for example, the cost of production is $27 with the farming and the rent and the winemaking barrels and storage making up those parts. So that means there's $23 of gross margin before the selling and general and administrative cost, and that assumes that we don't have any hail or any mildew or any pests or botrytis, which, as I said earlier, we have encountered a lot of in the last 5 years.
你看这个表，它显示成本结构，前提就是没有 hail， 没有 pest， 没有 botrytis， 没有那腐烂的，什么都没有，100%丰收，才有这种结构。没有，只要有任何的这个一些霜害啦，一些这个腐烂呐，还有气候不佳，就不会有这种情况发生。所以要赚钱这真的不是很容易，一个小酒庄来说。
So owning a vineyard and owning a domain with all those beautiful pictures is a glorious thing, and it's wonderful to be able to follow the passion that I have. But when one looks at the economics of it, the question is asked again, now would you like to buy a vineyard? And the answer is, if it's such a passion of mine, then of course I'm only all too happy to continue to invest in this.
所以你看完之后，我就要问你，Do you still want to buy a vineyard? So, do you want to still buy another vineyard? Yes.
If the price is right.
Okay.
So our wines are available all around the world. The United States is a big market for us. We're very proud to be here in Taiwan. We also have distribution in Hong Kong and Singapore and Japan and also throughout Europe.
他目前因为酒庄产量不多啦，所以他就是只有美国啊，因为他是美国人嘛美国、台湾、香港、新加坡、日本，主要就是亚洲地区有在卖。
And if you would like to stay connected with us, we have a newsletter that we publish every quarter. You can just send your email information to us, and we will send you a newsletter electronically every quarter. We also are on Facebook and on Twitter as well.
好，那在台湾呢，我们大家其实都用 Facebook， 所以你上 Facebook 查他的这个 Clos de la Chapelle， 你就可以查到他的 Facebook。所以要有什么问题要联络，都可以联络他们，因为他酒庄小。所以你问的问题通常就会很快得到回复，而且重点是他是美国人讲英文，我们写英文就好。常常很多法国酒庄，我以前去问写那个英文，他也不知道我在问什么，回来一个法文，我也不知道他在打什么，很痛苦所以大家有什么问题想请教他的都可以问，美国人都比较和善。
So I want to thank you, Thomas, for this opportunity to be a part of the distribution here in Taipei and in Taiwan. It's a great honor for us to be a part of your company and your organization. Thank you very much for inviting us.
It's my honor, my pleasure.
Oh, it's our pleasure as well.
好，谢谢大家。那大家有什么问题的话，你可以问我，也可以问他。OK， 那我们就 say 拜拜。